Hello, my name is Lydia and today we're here at Will Place Farms. Later we'll be talking to William, who is the owner of the company. But right now we're going to discuss the medical advantages of honey as well as the Quranic evidences that it provides. So as many people know, honey is a natural remedy that has been used for hundreds, even thousands of years as a natural remedy. So there are many different illnesses and diseases that can actually be treated with honey. The first of which would be hyperactivity. Because honey contains so many minerals and vitamins and different amino acids, it's actually really good for hyperactivity because it's acting as a mild sedative. Incredibly, like you'd believe that sugar with its high sugar you'd believe that honey with its high sugar concentrations would actually increase your energy, but actually it can act as a mild sedative in the right doses. It can also be used for fatigue or to aid digestion because it's got quick absorption through the digestive system, meaning that it'll disperse easily into the blood, therefore giving you a bit more energy, once again in the right doses. So honey is actually a great remedy for hay fever, especially if you use local pollen. It's especially effective in this case because obviously it contains the antigens that you're going to be allergic to. So it stimulates your immune system. So it also reduces your sensitivity to any kind of allergy to the pollen that's in your air, in your local area. If you're suffering from type 2 diabetes or also high cholesterol, it's actually a great sort of addition into your diet because of obviously the vitamins and the minerals and the amino acids. Also, honey is a great alternative to your white sugar as a natural sweetener in your food. Honey can also be used for those suffering from insomnia because it's a common fact that those suffering from insomnia, they're 4 times more likely to develop depression as well as other really harmful diseases such as heart disease. But then also those that are suffering from insomnia are more likely to have an accident at work or at home or at their job or in their car. So it's, you know, it's really important that maybe you introduce honey just as a part of your diet to implement into your life so you can actually stop any of these harmful causes. Another common illness that can be remedied with honey is actually migraines, and a common recipe for this would be a teaspoon of honey mixed into a cup of warm water, and you actually just sip this at the sign of any attack. If you're suffering from a sore throat, using honey can actually aid this because not only does it soothe your throat because of its consistency, but it also acts as a natural antibacterial. So this means you can also put it on any wounds, on any burns or any grazes, wrap it in some medical bandage, and then in a few days you'll actually be fine. In recent news, there's actually a current story where Afghan soldiers are using a type of honey. They're putting it on their wounds, even those infected with the MRSA virus, and they're actually being cured a lot quicker, and the signs and the symptoms of any of the infection are gone within days. So as you can see, this is also an incredible natural use of honey. Honey can also replace the sleeping pills which you usually take, and unlike synthetic pills that you would take for sleeping issues, that usually have drowsy effects the morning after, honey is a natural sedative. So that means that when you wake up the following morning, you're not feeling sluggish, you're not feeling drowsy, you can just get on with your day as normal. Okay, liquid honey doesn't spoil, and this is due to the high sugar concentrates which are within it, and also this means that it actually kills any of the bacteria within it, which is why it's really good as an antibacterial. But this is because any substance with a moisture content below 18% can actually kill any organism, meaning that it's impossible for it to cultivate and for it to multiply within these substances. And any raw natural honey actually has between 14 and 18% moisture content, which means that it's actually perfect in these conditions for killing any organisms. In the hadith that was narrated by Sahih al-Bukhari, it actually says that honey is a remedy for any illness, but the Quran is a remedy for any illness of the mind. Therefore, I recommend both the Quran and honey. So as you can see, 1400 years ago, it was actually advised for people to take honey as a remedy for any illness, not just for sore throats, not just for headaches. You can take it for almost anything. It's got so many vitamins and minerals that it really gives your body a boost in all the nutrients that it really needs. It's also narrated in Surah Al-Nahl, ayat 68 to 69. And your Lord inspired the bee, take for yourself among the mountains houses and among the trees and in that which they construct. Then eat from all the fruits and follow the ways of your Lord laid down for you. There emerges from their bellies a drink varying in colours, in which there are many healing properties for people. Indeed, that is a sign for people who give thought. There's also a story where a man went to the Prophet ﷺ and he actually was complaining of stomach problems, and the Prophet ﷺ actually advised him to drink honey. His exact words were, just let him drink honey. No dose was actually given to him, just let him drink it, and miraculously the man was cured. And actually modern science has concluded that honey is an anti-inflammatory, so those that are suffering from stomach ulcers, it's advisable for them to eat and drink honey as well.
I'm William Aldis. I run Wheel Place Farm Bees, and we are commercial producers of bees and queen bees, and also honey producers.
Okay, so could you take us through the process a little bit from actually getting the bees, purchasing the hives?
Right, well, most people start with 1 or 2 hives, just the same as I did as a hobbyist when I was 13 years old. So I found a swarm of bees in my garden, and then I went out and rapidly acquired a beehive from a friendly local beekeeper who lent me a box, and that's how I started. So I found the bees came first, then I found the hive, and that was fabulous. Most people will start by going on a beekeeping course and then acquiring a beehive from a reputable distributor of beehives, and then lots and lots of people come to me and say, well, we'd like you to supply us some bees, and that's our main part of our business, is selling bees. So
okay, so how much honey do you produce on average per year?
A good year we'll produce about 2.5 tonnes of honey. A bad year we'll produce about 1 tonne of honey. I mean, this year we look to be somewhere between 3/4 of a tonne and just over 1 tonne. It's not been a great year because we lost a lot of bees over the winter, and so we had to build up from a lower point. We had to sort of build up our colony strength as well.
So what products can be made from honey, not just obviously the pure substance?
Oh God, yeah, no. We supply honey for people that make soap. We supply beeswax for manufacturers' soap. We also supply propolis, which is another product of the hive for people that make sort of homeopathic remedies and things, which is quite nice. Honey we supply honey for beer production. Our honey, because it is very high quality raw honey, we don't do any processing, so our honey is extracted from the hive. It goes through nothing more than a stainless steel filter. We tend to sell at a higher price than most people want to use for making beer and for cooking, but we produce a premium product.
Okay, so obviously you mentioned that you offer homeopathic remedies and that to those sort of companies. So do you personally use honey as a medicine, or?
Myself, I eat honey all the time. I don't get ill too often, which is a good thing. But we have noticed, I mean, I'm based in Essex, so I supply particularly Harlow Police with a huge amount of honey. One of their guys came to me a couple of years ago, said, look, I've heard local honey's good for hay fever. And he was literally taking 6 to 8 weeks off work through illness just because of hay fever. He now takes my honey on a daily basis, just a couple of teaspoons, and he hasn't taken a day off since, which suggests a link to hay fever. And I think there is a lot to be said for taking allergens in a manageable dose and your body learning to handle those things, and that's where the theory is for hay fever. And I mean, I suppose now I supply a couple of 100 jars a year to Harlow Police Station, because it's not just him now. Of course, he went to work and told all his friends about it, and now they come and buy honey from us as well.
That's incredible. So would you recommend the honey business to anybody interested?
Oh yeah, I think producing honey is a great business. It has several problems in the fact that some years are good years, some years are bad years. I mean, the last 2 years before this one were really bad. I mean, last year, as I said, I mean, we looked to produce 1 tonne of honey as a minimum. Last year we produced 300 pounds, which is effectively an 1/8 of that, a 1/10 of that. So it's nowhere near enough to be a profitable business. Thankfully, our main income is derived from selling bees, so we can weather those storms. A lot of people now domestically keeping bees, 1 or 2 hives in their garden. I've got a fantastic customer who's got 2 colonies of bees on his balcony 12 floors up in Tower Hamlets. Just keeps bees in central London. Central London honey is really tasty honey because it's from lots and lots of different flowers, so it's got a really complex flavour. It's lovely honey. And so yeah, I recommend people keep bees, but I mean it's not necessarily a business for the faint-hearted.
Okay, so how can you tell the honey that is raw apart from that which is actually manufactured?
Well, we're not producers of honey are not legally allowed to do very much to honey, but some honey is taken to quite high temperatures before jarring, which means that it will stay as a liquid for much longer. Other honey will be blended with honey from all over the world, which don't really do us any good because it's the wrong kind of pollens and allergens in the honey. If you're looking at buying honey in a supermarket, try and find honey that is from one particular variety of plants, not a blend of honey. Look at the labelling. The labelling will say this is a blend of EU and non-EU honeys, particularly on cheaper brand honeys. Look for honey that says this is acacia honey, this is lavender honey, this is rapeseed honey, this is orange blossom honey. Those honeys will be much more pure. They won't have been adulterated in any way. Our honey will always crystallise eventually. Sometimes it'll take weeks, sometimes it'll take months for honey to crystallise, sometimes it'll take years for honey to crystallise. Acacia honey in particular will not crystallise sometimes for 3 or 4 years, but all pure honey will eventually crystallise. It's a process that can be very easily reversed by just very gently heating the honey. Bring it up to about 30 or 40 degrees centigrade, which won't kill the nice things that are in honey, but it will just bring it back to being a liquid state. But that's a really good sign. If honey starts to crystallise, it's a really good sign that it hasn't been messed around by.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having a little chat with us today and for showing us around, and I wish you all the luck with your business.
It's going well this year. We've done well, so thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.